Uh, I quoted to you from Surah Al-Ma'idah, but I did not quote the whole ayah. I only quoted the second part, that you have to look for those who are going to be your allies. And I said the natural ally is the one who is going to be your natural ally would be the one who is closest in love and affection for you, okay? That is the Surah Al-Ma'idah, towards the end of the surah. However, before that, the ayah begins with a statement, لَتَجِدَنَّ أَشَدَّ النَّاسِ عَدَاوَةً لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا الْيَهُودِ, that you will most certainly find in time to come, as you found at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, it's Fi'l Mudariya, that those who will be the most hostile of all people to you would be the Jews. This happened in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and then for 1,000 years after that, we had no problems with the Jews, no. We protected the Jews in our civilization. And then came the emergence of the Zionist movement, at the same time when the body of Fir'aun was discovered. And now the Jews have become the people with the greatest hatred for us, exactly as Allah said in the Quran. But He goes on to say, وَالَّذِينَ أَشْرَكُوا, that in addition to the Jews, there will be another people who will have the greatest hatred in their hearts for you. Now, while there are Hindus whose hearts are not corrupted with hatred for Muslims, while there are Hindus who are sincerely, I don't blame them at all, sincerely puzzled and troubled with 800 years of Muslim rule over Hindu India. And they cannot stomach it. If I was a Hindu, I would also be tremendously troubled over 800 years of Muslim rule over India, because it was not Islam. It was Islamic imperialism ruling over India. And I would oppose it. If I were a Hindu, I would oppose that Muslim rule over India. And if I were an Orthodox Christian, I would hate the Ottoman Empire. Oh yes. And hate Islam, because this is Islam, Ottoman Empire. If I were an Orthodox Christian, I can't blame the Orthodox Christian for his hatred for Islam because of what the Ottoman Empire did. And I can't blame the Hindu as well. Because what these Muslims did, the Mongols, was to impose Islamic imperialism upon India. So yes, you have to make a distinction between those Hindus whose hearts are troubled by this Muslim imperialism, but who are a people who do not have that genital hatred for Islam inside of them. There are another Hindu people who are like that. And Allah is referring to these Hindus. The same way as in Britain, in France, in Germany, you find Christians who are decent people. Yes. You find Christians who don't like what the government is doing at all. And then you find other Christians who are very, very much steeped in hatred for Islam. So Allah is saying in the Quran that in addition to Al-Yahud, there will be another people who will show the greatest hatred for you in Akhir Zaman, and these are people of Shirk. Hindu India, that part of Hindu India which is hostile to Islam, falls in that category. Any more questions? Yes?
Last question.
Last question. Okay, last question.
My name is Mahdia. I'm from Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan. MashaAllah. We have someone else from Uzbekistan here today. Yeah.
I would like to say that I witnessed the time that I was born during the Soviet time here, and I witnessed the time that the post-Soviet era also question is regarding the Father Constantinople. Is it going to be that the Muslims will fight each other? Because currently Constantinople, Istanbul is the Turkish people, and the majority of the Muslims that ally to Russia is also Turk Muslims. As well as we Muslims, we are used to be Turkish tribes. There's the Azhar people, they are also Turks. Majority of half of Russia is actually Turk Muslims. Is it going to be that the Turks will be fighting each other, or
Okay.
is it going to be that some NATO are going to take over Istanbul?
Okay, I'll explain to you. To answer your question again, you have to go to the Quran. Always go to the Quran. Allah speaks in the Quran in Surah Al-Ma'idah. And He says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who have faith in Allah. La tattakhizul yahuda wal nasara awliya. Do not take the Jews and do not take the Christians as your friends and allies. Question: is Allah speaking about all Jews and all Christians? Answer: no, couldn't be. Because in other parts of the Quran, He says the Christians are going to be the closest in love and affection for you. Well then, if Allah is not speaking about all Jews and all Christians, when He said don't take them as your friends and allies, well then which Jews and which Christians is He talking about? When He said don't take them as your friends and allies, the answer to that question is in the words which follow. بَعْدُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ. Do not take such Jews and do not take such Christians as your friends and allies, who themselves become friends and allies of each other. The Quran is anticipating a time which is to come, when one part of the Christian world and one part of the Jewish world would mysteriously reconcile and become friends and allies. When that happens, you are tell this to the Turkish Prime Minister for me, no, the Turkish President for me. If you have a telephone call, call him, tell him. Because he doesn't know the Quran. When that happens, you are prohibited from maintaining friendship and alliance with those people. Has that friendship and alliance emerged today? Is there a Judeo-Christian alliance in the world today? Yes, it is. The only ones who can't recognize it are those who drink in Teh Tarik and eat in Roti Canai and going home to sleep. The rest of us know it. It's a Zionist Judeo-Christian alliance. And they control power in modern Western civilization. Not the French people, not the American people. No. That Judeo-Christian alliance controls power in modern Western civilization. And NATO is the military arm. They're not going to like me in Kosovo. They're not going to like me in Bosnia. They're going to like me in Macedonia. They're not going to like me in Albania. But this is the truth. This is the truth. This is the Quran. So it's time for Albania to wake up, and Macedonia and Bosnia to wake up, and tell Bill Clinton to go, get lost. And tell that to Kosovo as well. If you turn to that Judeo-Christian alliance with friendship and alliance, what's the price you pay? Listen to the Quran. The Quran is absolute authority. You can't challenge the Quran. No. Allah says, وَمَنْ يَتَوَلَّهُ مِنْكُمْ فَإِنَّهُ مِنْهُمْ. Whosoever turns with friendship and alliance to them, you belong to them, not to us anymore. So this is not a civil war between Muslims and Muslims. You have left Islam. When you join NATO, and you're proud and happy to be a member of NATO, and now you're becoming NATO's Trojan horse after the failed coup d'etat. He knew the coup d'etat was coming. He knew that Fethullah Gulen was part of it. He knew that NATO was a part of it. He knew all of that. And he knew that the coup was going to fail, so that he could have a chance now to wipe out all the opposition there is to him in Turkey. So that Turkey is now strong without any internal opposition, so that Turkey can now play a strategic role in anticipation of the war against Russia. We are not fools. Erdogan should know we are not fools. And I hope Putin knows that this is a Trojan horse. So the conquest of Constantinople will come from a civil war. Turkey will have a civil war. On one side will be those who are fighting the oppressor to get NATO out of Constantinople. And on the other side will be the fools, the bunch of fools who is still standing with NATO. I don't know what Bosnia is going to do. Now they're in NATO's embrace and there's no way to get out. I don't know what Albania is going to do. I don't know what Macedonia is going to do. They are in NATO's embrace and there is no way out. They're trapped. So long as they remain where they are, history is going to move and leave them behind. We thank you for your kind attention to the lecture. I have my books outside, and after Maghrib, inshallah, you can get them. We can also autograph them for you.
Terima kasih. Thank you, Guru.
Okay.
Azhar Imran.